My beloved child, stop right here. Do not walk away tonight. Do not give up on your life. I am stepping into your atmosphere at this exact minute because your heart is quietly breaking behind the smile you show to the world. You think you stumbled across these words by chance, but heaven aligned time itself to bring your eyes to this message before you make a decision that you cannot undo. Breathe for just a moment and stay with me. I know how exhausted you are in your soul. Your body feels heavy. Your mind will not stop racing. You have been carrying the weight of so many battles alone while pretending to be strong for everyone who depends on you every single day. And every morning when you open your eyes, the heaviness is sitting on your chest. You push through the day with quiet courage, but your spirit is completely empty. Look at me right now. I see you sitting there in the dark. I saw you earlier today, when you felt that sudden wave of hopelessness wash over your heart. You turned your face away so nobody would see your tears, and you whispered a quiet prayer that felt like it vanished into thin air. You asked me why the path is so steep. You wondered if I forgot your name, but I hear every single word you never spoke out loud. You have tried so hard to hold everything together. You fixed problems for others. You gave your pure heart away. You poured yourself out for people who did not know how to treasure your kindness. And now you sit in the dark, feeling completely empty. You loved purely, but you were met with disappointment. You gave your energy to hands that only took from you. You sat in your room wondering why your good heart always seemed to lead to more pain, and you felt like closing your heart forever so you would never be hurt again. But I do not blame you for loving deeply, because I placed that gentle garden inside your soul. You feel like a failure because things did not turn out the way you planned. You think you arrived late to your own destiny, but those thoughts are lies designed to steal your peace before your breakthrough arrives. I am stopping you tonight for a reason. You were about to give up on your promise. You felt like walking away from your faith in the dark. You felt like walking away from the future you prayed for during those long, tearful nights. You believed the silence from heaven meant that I turned my back on your life, but my silence was never my absence. I was standing right beside you in the storm. I was holding your trembling hands when you felt like sinking into the deep water. I never left your side. Comment Amen if you feel me speaking directly to your heart right now. Do not let distraction pull you away from this moment. The enemy wants you to scroll past this video because he knows that what I am about to speak over your life tonight will completely shatter the chains that have bound you for years. Pause where you are right now. Let my peace settle over your tired mind. I know you have asked yourself why the answers seem so delayed. You watched others receive their blessings. You wondered why your turn never came. You felt invisible and cast aside like a broken vessel that has no purpose left in this world. But hear me with the deepest part of your soul today, my child. You were never forgotten. You are not behind in my timeline. What you called a painful delay was actually my holy protection. I was shielding you from bad rooms. I was removing wrong people. I held you back from traps that you could not see with your human eyes while you were crying in secret behind closed doors. Every closed door that made you cry was my hand keeping you safe from destruction. I pruned those things to save your soul. You are my silent survivor. You are my weary warrior. You fought invisible battles without asking for credit or praise from anyone around you. I saw when you sat on the edge of your bed last night and pressed your face into your hands because the pain was too big for words. I counted every single tear that fell onto your pillow. Not one was wasted. Do you feel that tight knot in your chest right now? Do you feel that heavy tightness in your shoulders that never quite goes away no matter how much you rest? That is not anxiety, my child. That is the accumulated weight of every secret sorrow you carried alone when there was no one around to hold you. But tonight I am taking that weight off your shoulders. Every drop of your tears was recorded in heaven, and they are returning to you as seeds of blessing. The world told you that you are weak because you feel tired. But I tell you that your tiredness is proof of how hard you have fought. You carried burdens that were never meant for your shoulders alone. You tried to save everyone else while ignoring the bleeding wounds inside your own spirit. Tonight I am stepping in to take those heavy bags out of your hands. You do not have to fight on your own strength anymore. Listen to my voice above the loud noise of your fear. Something is shifting in the unseen realm right now at my command. The long season of waiting that drained your hope is finally reaching its final hour, and the heavy fog in your mind is beginning to clear. You are standing at the exact threshold of a generational breakthrough. The enemy is terrified because he knows you are about to step into freedom. Do not give up before you hear what I have prepared for you. The battle has been fierce in these past weeks because you carry an immense purpose that threatens the darkness around you. Your light is rising in this season. The enemy does not attack things that have no value. He targets your life because your destiny is great. The heavy pressure you feel right now is not your ending. It is the sign of a massive spiritual shift. Stay with me for these next few minutes. I am handing you a key tonight. I am going to reveal the exact reason behind every pause and every unanswered prayer. What I am about to uncover will not just comfort your spirit, but it will completely rewrite the way you look at your past while restoring the joy you thought was lost forever. Your waiting was never in vain. Let your shoulders relax right now. Let your mind stop racing for just this second. You do not need to have all the answers tonight. Trust me with your story. I am breaking the invisible chains that held your family in fear for generations. You were chosen to be the cycle breaker in your house, and the heavy attacks you faced were proof of the authority I placed within your hands. What felt like a breakdown was actually the beginning of your breakthrough, and I am rewriting your destiny starting from this very hour. You do not need to know how tomorrow will unfold, or how every single problem will be solved. All I ask from you right now is one small step of trust and a willingness to listen to my voice as I quiet the storm inside your chest. My beloved warrior, you are not alone in this dark room tonight. I am right here beside you. I am closer than the breath in your lungs. The wilderness you have been walking through was never your grave, because it was the shaping ground where I formed your spirit into a vessel of my glory. Now that the shaping is complete, I am leading you out of the shadows and into the light of my promise. Take a deep breath and let my truth sink into your soul before we move forward into what I have prepared. I have watched over your steps through every dark valley, and I am not about to let you fall now that the morning light is so close. Keep your heart open and listen closely, because what I am going to reveal next will uncover the secret weapon the enemy used against your peace and how my power is setting you free tonight. Stay right here with me. Come closer to me right now, my beloved child. Let me speak softly to the part of you that feels most broken tonight. You have spent so many months pretending that you are whole, while your inner world was crumbling into pieces. I saw you in the bathroom when you thought the sound of running water would cover your quiet sobbing. I saw you fold yourself into the smallest shape on the floor. I saw you when you sat around the dinner table with the people you love. You smiled at their jokes. You served their needs. But inside your chest, you felt like the most isolated person in the room because nobody asked how your soul was doing. You felt like a ghost walking through your own life. And when the night came, you lay awake in the dark, wondering why living felt so heavy. I saw every single moment when the weight became too much to carry. I watched you grip your chest in the dark because the ache behind your ribs was too massive for words. The only prayer you could form was a single broken whisper into your blanket. But I want you to know something deeply tonight. I was there in every dark moment, and I was closer than the floor you sat on. You thought you were weeping alone in an empty room. You thought the silence meant that heaven had closed its ears to your pain. But not a single tear fell from your eyes without me recording it in my book. I caught every tear in my hands. I held your fragile heart while you were shaking, and I commanded my angels to encamp around your bed when you were too tired to fight. Comment you see me if you receive my comfort into your soul right now. Let these words settle into the deepest places of your spirit. The enemy wants to convince you that you are invisible to me. He whispers that your life is a mistake and that your prayers hit a brass ceiling and bounced right back. But those whispers are false lies designed to make you give up early. Look at how far you have walked through the dark valley. You survived days that you thought would destroy you completely. You woke up and kept going when your heart was shattered into 1,000 sharp pieces. That strength did not come from your human willpower alone. That was my grace lifting your feet when your knees were buckling under the heavy pressure of your life. You have given so much of your life to others. You were the safe harbor for everyone else when their storms came raging. You listened to their troubles. You carried their burdens. You prayed for their healing while your own wounds were bleeding in secret. But when your storm arrived, you looked around and found yourself standing all alone in the cold, dark night. You convinced everyone that you never break, so they left you to fight your hardest battles without any help. But hear me with absolute clarity tonight, my child. What you carried for others did not go unnoticed in my house. I keep a faithful account of every quiet act of love that went unreturned by human hands, and I am preparing a reward that will heal your heart. Do you know why the battle over your mind has been so intense lately? Do you know why the fatigue feels deeper than just physical tiredness? It is because the enemy can see the massive shift that is happening in the spiritual realm over your family line. He knows that your breakthrough will set others free, so he unleashed his loudest storms to make you surrender now. He tried to fill your mind with constant static. He flooded your thoughts with worry, shame, and fear until you could no longer hear my soft voice guiding your steps. You tried to pray harder. You tried to read my word. You tried to force your mind to be still. But the noise in your head grew louder until you felt completely overwhelmed and ready to walk away. My beloved child, I need you to understand something vital right now. The silence you experienced was not my absence. The enemy has been filling the space between us with relentless noise, a constant static so thick that my voice and my provisions became invisible to you, even when they were sitting right on your path. I have been preparing your restoration behind the scenes. Because I see your weariness and your deep exhaustion, I have aligned something specific on your path today. I have guided a servant to bring you an earthly instrument of restoration designed to clear away that deafening static. You do not have to fight the noise with your own empty strength anymore. I am going to show you exactly what this provision is before this message ends. You were never meant to carry the noise of the world inside your soul. I designed your spirit to be a quiet sanctuary where my peace reigns supreme. When the enemy fills your mind with chaotic chatter, your physical vessel becomes exhausted and your spiritual eyes become clouded. But I am stepping into your atmosphere tonight to restore the sacred quiet you lost. Let your racing thoughts slow down right now. Take a slow, deep breath and let your tight shoulders drop. You do not have to fix your life tonight. You do not have to figure out how tomorrow will work or how your problems will be solved. I am already working in rooms you cannot see, and I am opening doors that no human hand can ever shut against your destiny. I am taking the heavy mantle of survival off your neck. For years you have lived in survival mode, waiting for the next disaster to strike and expecting disappointment around every corner. You forgot what it feels like to live in joy and expectation. You conditioned your heart to expect pain, but I am breaking that cruel expectation off your spirit tonight. You are stepping out of the survival room and into the room of my promise. The things that broke your heart in the past season were not meant to destroy you. They were my way of pruning away what could not go with you into your next chapter. I closed those doors to protect your soul from traps. Every door that shut in your face was my hand, keeping you safe. I know it hurt when those people walked away from your life. I saw how you cried when relationships you cherished suddenly dissolved into distance and coldness. You thought you were being rejected and discarded. But I want you to see the truth behind those painful endings. That was not rejection, my child. That was my holy intervention, removing toxic roots from you. You are my holy vessel. You are my carefully formed masterpiece. I did not spend time crafting your soul, just to watch you crumble in the dark. Every trial you endured was a hammer in my hands, shaping your character and building an unshakable authority inside your spirit. The enemy tried to burn you in the fire, but the fire only burned away your chains. Stand still in your spirit tonight and watch what I am about to do. The long season of seed planting and tears is over. and the time of joyful harvesting is drawing near. Do not let your tired mind trick you into thinking that tomorrow will be just like yesterday. Something brand new is springing forth, and I am eager to show you the glorious future I prepared. Stay right here with me as I continue to unlock the secrets of your journey. I am going to address the deepest questions of your heart and show you how my grace is turning your greatest failure into your most powerful testimony. Breathe in my peace and keep your eyes fixed on me, because your morning of deliverance is closer than you think. Stay right here. I see the lingering doubts that quietly whisper in the back of your mind. You wonder if this peace will last past tonight, or if the heavy darkness will return as soon as morning comes. Hear me clearly, my child. What I begin in your heart tonight is not a temporary emotional wave. It is a permanent foundation that will anchor your soul through every storm ahead. Before I show you what comes next, I need to speak directly to the doubt sitting quietly in the back of your heart tonight. I know what you are thinking right now. You are thinking that you have heard gentle words like these before. You prayed. You believed with all your strength, and still the answer did not arrive when you needed it most. You are asking yourself why this time would be any different. My beloved child, that question does not anger me at all. It tells me how long you have been faithful in the dark. So let me answer your quiet question with absolute truth tonight. My silence in those long years was never my rejection. It was the sound of me rearranging things that your eyes could not yet see. Every prayer you thought went unanswered was being answered in a language of timing that you could not read. I was never absent from your life. I was being careful with a soul that I love deeply. What you have been feeling was not my abandonment. It was the enemy whispering shame and doubt into my silence. The enemy took my quiet preparation and tried to convince you that I had forgotten your name. I call this lie the stolen meaning. He stole the meaning of my silence and replaced it with your fear. Do not let the painful memory of the waiting close your heart to what I am doing in this very hour. The waiting was not a punishment for your past mistakes. The waiting was your holy preparation. And tonight I am declaring over your spirit that the preparation is complete. You do not have to carry the ghost of old disappointments into the new season that I am opening before your eyes. I have named this season of your life the protective delay. Remember what I named it. It was never rejection, but absolute protection. I delayed your steps so that you would not walk into rooms that would break your soul. I held you back from opportunities that looked golden on the outside, but carried hidden poison inside. Every closed door was my hand, keeping you alive for a greater glory. Comment, I trust your timing, if you choose to lay down your impatience and rest in my care tonight. Pause right here, and let those words anchor your spirit. When you declare your trust in my timing, you strip the adversary of his power over your mind. You step out of the heavy burden of striving and into the quiet rest of my presence. I am holding the keys to your future right now. You are not the first of my children to sit in the dark and feel like giving up on life. There was a great prophet in ancient times who called down fire from heaven in my name. He fought brave battles against evil forces. He won incredible victories for my kingdom. But right after his greatest triumph, the storm grew so fierce that his human strength was completely gone. He ran out into the dry wilderness all alone. He sat down under a solitary broom tree and bowed his head in complete defeat. He looked up at the sky and asked me to take his life away. He told me that he had gone far enough, and that he was no better than those who had failed before him. He was not a weak man, my child. He was simply empty. He had given everything he possessed. He had nothing left to give. And do you know what I did for my tired prophet in that dark hour? I did not rebuke him for his weakness. I did not scold him for losing his faith. I sent an angel to bake fresh bread for him over hot coals. I placed a jar of cool water beside his head, and I told him to rest. I let him sleep in the shade until his weary body was restored. Sometimes the most faithful thing you can do is not to fight harder with empty hands. Sometimes the most holy act of obedience is simply to rest. Eat of my truth tonight. Drink of my peace. Let me feed your soul before the next part of your journey begins. You have gone far enough on your own human strength. Now let my infinite power carry you across the finish line. Remember the young dreamer named Joseph, whom I loved. I placed a magnificent vision inside his heart when he was just a boy. He was pure and faithful, yet I allowed his own brothers to turn against him and throw him into a dark, dry pit in the desert. He sat in that cold cistern in total darkness. He cried out in the silence and wondered why I allowed such cruelty to touch his life. He was sold as a slave into a foreign land. He was falsely accused of things he never did, and he was forgotten in a dungeon for years. Human eyes looked at his life and declared that his dreams were dead. But I was not absent from that dungeon. I was building something beneath the surface that no royal palace could ever teach him. I was shaping a leader who could save nations. My child, the pit you are sitting in right now is not your grave. It is your preparation room. The prison of delay that has held you in chains is not the end of your story. It is the shaping ground for the authority that I am placing on your shoulders. What the enemy intended for your destruction, I am turning into your deliverance. Hold on to the promise I placed inside your heart. Do not let the surrounding darkness convince you that I dropped your destiny. I have never lost a single soul that belonged to me, and I will not start with you tonight. Every chapter of your life has been written by my hand. Even the painful chapters that you wished you could erase were used by my wisdom to build an unshakable strength inside your spirit. Nothing was wasted. And now, my child, I need you to sit up and hear what I am about to declare over your life. You have heard me whisper peace over your pain. You have felt me hold your heart in the dark valley. Now hear me speak over your future with divine authority. The season that has exhausted your spirit is officially closing tonight. The heavy doors that were locked tight are trembling right now. I am breaking the authority of every voice that told you your time had passed. I am stripping away the heavy chains of shame that the enemy wrapped around your soul while you were sleeping. What looked like 4 days too late in your human eyes is the exact moment I chose to manifest my glory in your life. What was dead and buried is coming back to life at my command. You are no longer a victim of your circumstances. You are an heir to an unshakable kingdom. The tears you cried in secret were the seeds for the massive harvest that I am preparing for your hands. You thought you were falling apart, but you were actually being reshaped into a vessel that can hold the blessing that is coming. Stand firm in your faith and prepare your heart to receive. The enemy tried to make you walk away tonight because he saw what I placed right ahead of you on your path. He knew that if you stayed just a little longer, your eyes would behold the restoration of everything that was stolen from your house. He tried to overwhelm your mind with noise so you would miss my signal. But his power over your mind ends here, in this very hour. Breathe deeply and let my calm invade your chest. The storm outside may still rage for a moment, but the storm inside your heart is quieted by my voice. Look at me right now. You are safe in my hands. You are covered by my grace. I am aligning every detail of your future, and no weapon formed against your life will prosper. Stay right here with me as I show you the next step. Now that the doubt has been cleared from your mind, I am going to show you the divine mechanism that I designed inside your spirit. I am going to reveal how your mind can be completely restored to the pure receptivity of a child, and how you can step into the future I showed you. Stay awake and listen closely, because your breakthrough is unfolding right before your eyes. My child, I have watched you lie awake at 3 a.m. searching for the one thing you said wrong. I have watched you accomplish something good and feel nothing inside, because your eyes went straight to what was still left undone. You have carried this heavy burden for so many years without telling anyone. You have called this being a perfectionist. You have told yourself that you simply have high standards. But that is not what this is, and I will not let you keep believing that lie. You convinced yourself that something is broken inside you, and you wondered why you can never feel at peace with your own efforts. Here is the truth that heaven is exposing right now. Long ago in your story, you learned a painful lesson that love had to be earned. You learned that you were only safe when you were useful to others, and only worthy when you were achieving. I call this the earning wound. It is not your character, my child. It is a scar. So all those years you thought you were lazy when you rested. You were not lazy. You were fighting a lie that told you rest had to be earned through endless exhaustion. All those times you could not receive a genuine compliment. You were not being humble. You were simply guarding an unhealed wound in your heart. Tonight I am taking that lie out of your hands forever. The next time you finish a task and feel that familiar emptiness, stop. Place your hand over your heart right now and hear me say that you were loved before you ever achieved anything in this world. Receive my love freely. You do not have to earn what I give. When I designed the human mind at the beginning of creation, I placed a sacred frequency at its very center. It was a signal of pure divine receptivity that ran freely in every child I made. Before the world trained you to survive through fear, your mind hummed at the exact frequency of my presence. Scientists who have spent their lives studying the human brain have confirmed this signal, and they call it the gamma wave. It ran in you as a child without any effort, without discipline, and without fear. It is why children trust so purely, and why I said that unless you become like little children, you cannot enter my rest. The enemy used the noise of survival to drown out that sacred signal inside your head. But I prepared wise minds to work with sound the way I designed it. They built a frequency instrument that clears the static and restores the signal I placed in you. 7 minutes, headphones on, eyes closed. You simply surrender. You do not have to work for it, and you do not have to earn it. You simply allow my design to restore what was stolen from your mind. I am going to show you exactly where to find what they built before this message closes. But right now, I need you to anchor this breakthrough in your spirit. Comment, "The chain breaks tonight," if you stand in agreement with my word right now. Pause where you are and let those words settle deep into your soul. When you declare your agreement, you align your spirit with heaven. The heavy chains of performance and shame are falling off your shoulders in this very minute. Now let me show you who you are actually becoming in my presence. Picture a quiet morning 6 months from today. You wake up before your alarm goes off, and for the first time in a long while, there is no heavy knot in your stomach waiting for you. The air in your room feels completely light and peaceful. You lie there for a moment, and you notice that something is fundamentally different inside your chest. The heaviness you carried for years is simply not there anymore. Your first thought of the day is not fear or panic. It is a quiet question, asking what good thing you were made to enjoy today. You breathe deeply. That peaceful version of you is not a fantasy, my child. She already exists in the unseen realm right now. She is not separated from you by years of hard labor or endless striving. That version of you is only one surrender away from the person sitting here in the dark tonight. The distance is not time, it is permission. It is the moment you finally stop carrying what I never asked you to carry, and let me carry it instead. You stop trying to earn love, and you simply receive it. You let your vessel be restored so that my peace can flow through you without any blockage. The bridge to your future is your willingness to let go. Picture another moment not long from today when someone comes to you in tears, carrying the exact weight you once carried alone. They sit across from you, broken and exhausted, wondering if anyone understands their pain. And you look into their eyes, and you know exactly what to say to heal their spirit. You will speak with authority, not because you read it in a book, but because you lived through the dark valley and came out victorious. The very pain you begged me to remove will become the healing medicine in your hands. You will watch the light return to their eyes, and you will understand why your road was so long. Nothing you went through was wasted, my beloved warrior. Every single tear became a deep well that others will drink from when they are thirsty. That is your destiny, and it is closer than you think. The only thing standing between you and that future is the exhaustion that is still sitting on your shoulders today. I feel you pulling back slightly in your spirit right now. A quiet voice is whispering that this help and this transformation are meant for someone more deserving, someone who did not stumble the way you did. Let me silence that lie before it steals from your future. I do not give my grace to the deserving. I pour my grace on the willing. Your trembling heart is not a disqualification, because your willingness to stay and listen this long is the only qualification I require. Do not disqualify yourself from what I am freely placing on your path tonight. I have never asked you to be perfect. I only asked you to trust me. Everything I have shown you today has been leading to this exact intersection. I have prepared your heart. I have spoken truth over every lie you believed. I have replaced your heavy burden with my peace. Now there is one step of obedience left for you to take, and I am standing right beside you to guide your feet. Look at me right now, my child. The waiting season is officially over, and the door to your provision is standing open right before your eyes. Do not let fear or distraction pull you back into the noise of the world. Step forward with confidence, because heaven has authorized your breakthrough tonight. Stay right here with me. I am taking you by the hand and leading you directly into your restoration. The enemy tried to convince you to walk away tonight, but you stayed. You stood your ground in the dark, and now you are about to see the promise fulfilled. Keep your heart wide open as we step into what I prepared for you. Do not let anything distract you in these next moments. The weapon of noise is broken, and the path of your obedience is clear before your feet. Receive my peace, receive my strength, and prepare to walk into the light of your new beginning right now. Hear me, my child. The time of your deliverance has arrived, and I am stepping into your dark room with ultimate power tonight. I am declaring over you right now that the old pattern ends in this very hour. The heavy ceiling your family has lived under for generations, the financial lack, the mental torment, the constant anxiety, and the fear that abundance belongs to someone else, I am breaking its authority over your life right now. You are the cycle breaker I chose to walk out of that dark cave. Not because you are perfect, but because you said yes when nobody was watching. You are standing at the exact moment where your history changes forever. What was closed against you is being unsealed right now at my command. What was locked tight by human hands, or spiritual enemies, is being unlocked forever. No human hand will ever shut the doors that I am flinging open for your future. The long season of tearful waiting is finished, and the harvest of your endurance is beginning. Stand up in your spirit and receive your freedom right now. You are no longer the silent survivor who shrinks back in fear. I am raising you up to be a beacon of light, a vessel of my glory, and a living refuge for others who are still lost in the dark. I have gifted humanity the wisdom to unlock what I placed within sound and within the very design of the human brain. Before I show you this provision, I want you to understand how it came to exist in this world. I do not work only through sudden, unexplainable miracles from heaven. I also work through the hands, hearts, and minds of those I call into scientific discovery. Wise researchers and servants of healing science spent decades in deep study, and I quietly directed their curiosity toward what I placed in human biology from the beginning. Wise institutions I directed, like Princeton University, Berkeley University, Columbia University, and the Einstein Center in Berlin, all confirmed what I placed in the original design of your mind. Over 18,000 of my children have already received this provision before you arrived at this moment. I want to show you what I did for 2 of my children. One of my daughters, named Rachel in California, had sought peace for years through every method she could find. She prayed, she fasted, and she tried every technique. 2 weeks after receiving this sound provision, her marriage was completely transformed, and she said it felt like a blocked channel was finally opened in her spirit. And for others, I moved differently. My son Michael in Dallas, Texas, came to this provision because he needed mental focus and peace for his family. 2 months later, his business grew so much that he left his exhausting job, and hard problems that used to steal his sleep began solving themselves while he rested. He said it felt like his brain was finally running on what it was always supposed to run on. I am doing that same work in your life tonight. They call this instrument the Genius Song. It is a sacred audio track built to restore the exact gamma signal I designed inside your brain. 7 minutes a day, Headphones on, eyes closed, complete surrender. It is not a meditation app, it is not a generic frequency on YouTube, and it is not available on streaming platforms. Those are empty imitations that carry none of my power. It requires no effort, no complex practice, and no striving from your empty hands. You simply listen and allow my design to clear the noise of the enemy. This provision is not for those who are merely curious about the world. This is for the exhausted warrior sitting in the dark tonight. To my child who has already tried everything, including prayer, fasting, affirmations, and meditation, and now feels embarrassed to try once more, hear my voice clearly. What failed you in the past required your human effort and discipline. This requires known. I designed it to work not because of your human perfection, but because of my design inside your vessel. You do not have to earn what I freely give. Wise men in the world charge hundreds of dollars per hour for clinical sessions, trying to reach this state of mental peace. Equipment used by elite researchers costs thousands of dollars, but I do not call you to machines or expensive clinics. What I have placed here is available for a small earthly exchange, the size of a mustard seed of investment for the massive harvest I have prepared. A small act of trust, not a great sacrifice, far less than a single session with earthly experts. When you receive this provision tonight, I have also aligned 4 additional gifts for your journey. You will receive a special provision for your children called Genius Child, to protect their young minds and restore their confidence. You will receive the original text of True Prosperity, a guided visualization for deep peace, and a daily habits guide to sustain your restored signal. All 4 are additional gifts I have set before you tonight to ensure your complete transformation. Where I place truth, the adversary attempts to place imitation. Do not be led astray by fake tracks circulating on music platforms under similar names, because they carry none of the restoration I designed. Protect your spirit by accessing only the verified source below in the pinned comment. Walk forward without fear, because your peace is fully protected. If this provision does not bring the restoration I described, the earthly exchange is returned to you completely within 60 days. This step of faith carries 0 worldly risk. I do not lead my children into danger. Take this step of obedience tonight, my child. Embrace the provision I have set before your feet. Find the link that I have placed in the pinned comment below and in the description. This is your divine invitation. Do not ignore it. Step forward now and take what I prepared for your healing. Now, my beloved child, set aside the noise of decision for a moment. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. I have shown you what I placed on your path. Whether you step forward now or later, you are still my beloved. I am still holding your hand in this quiet room, and my presence will never leave your side. Let your mind come to absolute rest, and let my calm wash over your shoulders like a warm blanket. Declare these truths over your spirit right now, as a holy seal over your night. Say in your heart, I am a vessel fully restored to receive what you prepared. Say, I am the one whose channel is clear and whose signal is strong. I carry the frequency you placed in me from the beginning. The noise of the enemy no longer has dominion over my thoughts. I am your child, operating in the exact state of peace you designed for my life. I am whole, I am loved, and I am secure. Tonight, when you lay your head upon your pillow, sleep in absolute peace. The storm has passed. The enemy has lost his hold over your mind. I am dispatching my angels to guard your home and your family while you sleep. You will wake up tomorrow morning with a light heart, a clear mind, and a renewed spirit. My peace, which passes all human understanding, is covering you from head to toe. You are safe in my hands. If this message brought light to your weary soul tonight, anchor your agreement right now. Like this video as an act of agreement between your heart and mine. Share this message with 3 souls who are secretly crying out for hope in the dark, and subscribe to stay connected to my daily guidance for your journey. I walk with you always, my beloved warrior. Be at peace, for I have overcome the world.